cartoon called Lookism on Netflix, right? And it was discussing the idea of your confidence deriving from the treatment that you've received throughout your life. So with different treatment, do you think that you still would be able to maintain that same level of confidence and security within yourself when in reality, when the people you wanted or the things you wanted did not go exactly the way you wanted, and you're blaming, and not you specifically, but people who do this in the past, blame it on like they looks or they height or this or whatever the metric that they're being judged against, and then that kind of creates energy that they move through the world with. How do you think you would have been able to maintain that in that scenario where you weren't blessed with the body that you presumably have, or the attractiveness feature? How do you
After
think you would have been
Stacey
able to
goes, I want
maintain
to
it?
go on this one, please. Go ahead,
Um,
Stacey.
Even earlier when Andrea was saying the word fast, that's a trigger word for me. Because people assumed that because I was coming up and I had a big butt that I was gonna be fast. And your girl was a little slow. I wasn't the brightest crayon in the box. The world was, I just didn't know what I had. And so that was a trigger for me. But I thought to myself, because most of the time I feel like my shape, my body has attracted some of the worst things. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I wish I did not have a big butt. I wish I wasn't shaped like this. I did, because I feel like it has attracted the wrong things. It made me stand out from the rest, and it hadn't worked so well for me. And now that I'm more empowered and more knowledgeable, I dress different, but she's still coming through. But I feel like if I wasn't built the way that I was built, that I still would be confident because of who I am and whose I am. I come from a strong background. My mom's from Alabama, hardworking. My dad being Nigerian, so there's a lot of work ethic. Very dominant. So with that being said, it's like, it's really, environment for me.
That's a shame because you should be able to dress however way you want to without feeling like the wrong attention is going to be put onto you because of how you're dressing. Because it's regardless of what you put on, it's your body, and nobody is allowed to whatever. But I think that it's like just Stephen A. Smith's whole entire talking point. I feel like it just came from a very negative place because there are women are shaped differently everywhere. So women can be beautiful whether they have big, chest or a big butt or whatever, they're still beautiful. So I think it's just really asinine for somebody who probably has a beer belly and a receding hairline to feel like he can be so choosy and selective anyways.
Wow, look at you attacking a person.
What
So
is your
just
like
to
such
Hold
a
on, hold on, Sweeney. She was talking about me, Sweeney. Just relax.
Don't
he
get
has
triggered, Andre. It's all good.
no
Go
it's
ahead.
not because
Go
you
ahead,
don't.
Casey.
so what Marcus just asked, this y'all talking about triggers. This has like been something really on the forefront of my mind. But just being in postpartum and being an athlete and a professional dancer my entire life. Started dancing at 3, and then after dance, I went into coaching and then fitness. So my entire life, from the outside world, I was always perceived a certain way because before you can speak, how you carry yourself and your body type, a lot of times, regardless whether you have control over it or not, is what you attract, right? My husband was a professional baseball player. Like, so I basically, you have a certain persona, and being before children, I always attracted, certain type of people and certain type of respect based off of my body type and how I carry myself, right? Like I've always been, hit on by military, firefighters, police officers because I display a certain spirit of discipline, and also I've always been like extremely fit. So postpartum comes, or babies and pregnancy comes, and not having any control over how your body changes, and the things that your body will go through because it needs to move and grow and stretch in order to create children, going through birthing two children vaginally and then having a miscarriage. You're talking about my body has changed tremendously from what it was, and now I'm getting back to that now after a third pregnancy. the world has really like changed in what I, without speaking, even though I can dress similarly to what I dressed before in postpartum, but attracting a different type of man, attracting different people, not having that automatic assumption of, oh my God, you must be in fitness, or, oh my God, you must be an athlete, not having those initial reactions with people that I've had all of my life. So your body type, how you are, will attract different people based on, you know, what the world receives of you. My mother has always been a 0 to 2 her entire life. She didn't have any boobs. She didn't have any butt. My father liked that Model S type. My mom was that body type. And crazy, ironically, she was teased for it all of grade school because she was called, you know, olive oil, and she was skinny and tall and slender. Now, like, oh my God, she's praised for it. Oh my God, look at you. You didn't gain weight over the years. You look like a model still. Now, the same women that went to high school with her, or, you know, didn't want nothing to do with her, were jealous of her. Now they're praising her because, you know, she's kept herself at a certain stance, and she's never felt the need to get a boob job or get no booty, because my father, she was confident in who herself, and my father loved, you know, the tall, statuesque, slender woman. So I feel like when you are who you are, going back to what Stacey O says, you have to like stay true to what you like and who you are, and not be swayed by, you know, different things in the world. You got to be comfortable in your own skin. And I do believe in whatever you need to do to feel good, to maintain a who you are, you got to do that. You shouldn't feel the woes of the world. If you're slender, rock that slender body. There's tons of men who want that size 0 to 4, that slender, tall woman. They don't care about no boobs. They don't care about no booty and no hips. And there's men, if you got the booty and the hips, that need and love the booty and the hips and the boobs. So you just gotta go for who's gonna love you for you, and do what you need to do for yourself. But don't be swayed about what other women got going on, because you don't want to look like nobody else anyway. You want to be the best version of you.
Marcus, did we like sort of answer the question, or?
So I was specifically trying to figure out how, like, have you ever seen that Dave Chappelle skit where the girl was like, "Oh, I wish I didn't have no breast." And then they took her breast away, and
Yeah.
then she couldn't get nobody to help her with her groceries, and she couldn't, like, her whole life changed.
Yeah.
Like, how would y'all respond living in a world where, like, how you were just talking about? So imagine, Casey, you know how you say your body's changed after the
Yeah.
childbirth.
Yeah.
Imagine if you just never had a, like, it. I've seen you didn't change like dramatically or nothing like that.
To
It
me,
might not
but
be
to me, I
exactly the
have
same,
though.
but I'm saying, imagine if you just wasn't attractive to begin with to the
But it's
opposite sex.
still, but
Would you
it's
still be
still,
able to maintain that type of confidence walking through this world?
yeah, it's still like something to your confidence, because you're like, hold the hell up. Like, I'm still the person internally, right? I'm still that disciplined person, but at the moment, I'm not cut up like I was with, you know, a six pack walking around. So it's like I'm literally, I'm like, this is so weird. And even women, like, treat me differently based on that. Now, when I starts to speak, I'm the same person. I'm like, you're the same person. You still give off that same energy. Yeah, when I open my mouth. But with me just being silent, it attracts, and I've attracted different people based on, and gotten a different level of respect or different treatment. It does shake your psyche. It does shake your psyche. I'm
That's
not
what I was.
you're not gonna you can't sit in here for a person who has like a broke leg, maybe an athlete or something. All of a sudden they're bedridden and they can't go, run 6 miles every day, and they can't keep everything they eat goes to their body, and all of a sudden they gain 50 pounds in 3 months. That's going to messes with your psyche. If the world receives you differently than what you already have been used to your entire life, it will shake a man or a woman alike. It's going to shake you, and you're still going to be the same person mentally and internally. You're going to be that same person, but your confidence, and you're going to be like, well, damn, it makes you feel like the people that go, like the bosses that put on like they put on the disguise and go into their business as a worker, and they see, like, with the, you know what I'm talking about, Precious, they see how like people
Boss.
receive them and treat them without them knowing that they're the boss. But like when they're the boss, like they get different treatment. It's like the same exact thing. You know what it's like on both sides. Now I can't speak for nobody who don't know any different. Like if you've always received people one way your whole life, then it is what it is. But if you go through something, it could be a car accident. Like just think about like a person who's like extremely attractive. And I actually know a person, and like shout out to my homeboy. He a really, really attractive dude I went to high school, went to college with. He had a crazy reaction to some freaking dermatologist medication, y'all. And now he has a skin disease from that medication. He went all the way to college being viewed as this, this Greek, this dude that get all this attention, and then all of a sudden his quote unquote, beauty, or the what everybody looked at him as being handsome, all his skin has been like stripped from him. So he doesn't look the same at all. And it's from like most people that know him, like, oh my God, like you're still beautiful, like you're still attractive, you're still an attractive man. Like you can, he's an advocate for the disease that he developed from the medication. But like this stuff like that really does happen to people where they may be like this way and they receive a whole different type of vibe after some type of life altering situation. It happens.